Well, there's so many to choose from. A lot of stage actors, because I suppose that was my first love. People like Judi Dench and Anthony Hopkins. And then I suppose we watch a lot of film here as well, so there were people like Donald Sutherland and Don Cheadle, obviously the De Niros and the Al Pacinos and the people that sort of always that had great craft, I suppose. And people talk about sort of character actors and between character actors and leading actors, and I think there's a gap in the middle, and those are the people that used to inspire me. I think probably on that job, I mean, I didn't actually audition for that, which is, a lovely thing to happen in an actor's career. I met with Guy and the team on set, and I suppose with a job like that, because of the way he works, every day feels like an audition, to be honest with you. We were rewriting the script, often 20 minutes before we started shooting, which is scary, but he made it very easy to do, because he clearly loves actors and wants to get the best out of them. So it was a great experience for that. So it's a rare thing when that happens, but a very satisfying one. Penny Dreadful, again, that was a conversation that I had with John Logan, and I would say that was one of my sort of formative TV shows, really. And the great thing about that was, because I worked mainly on stage, to be able to work with a team and to watch playback and to see how your performance was reading on screen. It was like a school for me, really, and a great opportunity. I don't think it's an opportunity that a lot of actors get, to watch playback. Often directors are very kind of precious about doing that, because they feel it can inhibit a performance. But it didn't for us. It gave us an opportunity to see what we were doing and to learn from it and to improve on it. And with Killing Eve, similarly, a very collaborative experience. Very much led by the actors and the director, and the writers, of course. And a lot of the writers are actors. So just the sort of, a lot of fun, a lot of creativity, a lot of imagination with that whole process. So yeah. I think it's incredibly important to have a good relationship with your agent, because they are the ones who are putting you forward for stuff, and you need to be able to tell them what it is that you want. You need to be able to agree on what sort of shape you want your career to take, and often at the beginning you don't know what that is, and so it's good to have somebody who you trust, who has your best interests at heart. So yeah, it's a very important relationship. I've worked with the same agent all my career, really. So in fact, my original agent retired and handed it over to my agent, and so I was with my original agent, and then I moved over. So they've changed, I haven't, and yeah, it's one of the most important relationships in my life. Well, social media is not so much of a problem for me, because I'm a little bit of Instagram, but it's really just to promote things that I think are great, and or things that I'm in, or just sort of resending stuff that people have sent me. So I don't feel too much of pressure on that sense. Sometimes, being stopped in the street, I like to have conversations with people and to sort of learn about them as well. So it's a good opportunity to kind of actually engage with people, which is nice. People are usually quite complimentary and nice. I haven't had any bad experiences in that sense. It's funny, the things you get recognised for, it's often the kind of sort of popular sort of commercial things that you do, but it's still it's always a pleasure to meet people. Sometimes the autograph hunters can be a bit of a strange experience, because they sort of don't want you to sign it to anyone, and I'm sure they end up on eBay. But we've all got to eat, so it's fine. To take a little bit from every single job you do. There are most of the jobs. My agent once said to me, Marina Martin, she was an amazing woman, and she said that of the 10 jobs that you would get, sort of one of them is the job that comes along every 10 years that really does sort of change your life. It speaks to everything that you want to say as an artist, and the other 9 are going to have one thing or 2 things that are worth putting in a toolbox for when that one job comes along. So keep a sense of what you're doing. You're building a toolbox so that when something really means something to you, you'll be ready because you have all the tools that you've collected from it. So think of the long game rather than the short. It would probably be Macbeth, and I'm not so superstitious, so I don't. But recently I played Lear, so it's the Shakespeare's. Unfortunately, I know that sounds probably quite boring for a British actor to be saying I love doing Shakespeare, but it's the range and the scope that you can get in those stories. We're still trying to figure them out, I guess, and every interpretation seems to bring something completely different to them. They're very flexible in that sense. So those are some of the most fulfilling roles that I've played as a creative. Ministry was quite good fun. To play somebody who's so out there, and the character sort of changed from the minute I started to the minute we kind of finished it. He went from being a doctor to a pirate to a public school boy, an arms dealer. I mean, it just kept changing, but that was a great experience. Yeah, and all the American plays, they seem to be able to tell stories that are incredibly human. I think that we're still trying to find a way to do that in our own voices here. So they're always great to play. I recently did a Stephen Adly Gurgis play called Between Riverside and Crazy, which is just a masterpiece. So I'm still learning and I'm still enjoying what I do. So I'm sure there's that definitive role hasn't come up yet, but I'm still searching for it.